and gentlemen, welcome to Junk Bond Trader's drug tier list. We are going to go through every drug I've done, give or take. There's probably some I forgot, or there's probably some that were just too similar to ones already on there that I did not include. But we're going to go through everything that I came up with off the top of my head, and we're going to rank them. And it's going to be based on effect, but also it's just going to be based on sort of if it's effect for what it is. I'm not going to say like weed feels as good as like this drug, for example, but it's still like really good for what it is, in my opinion. So that's sort of how I'm going about it. I'm not too strict about the criteria. It's all in fun. Also, this is not like advice or like I'm not saying any drug is good necessarily. You should always do your own research and do not, listen to me. This is just for fun. It means nothing. It's just my opinion, and all drugs are potentially dangerous. So keep that in mind going forward. With that said, I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you for 10,000 guys. I cannot believe we got there so quickly. I love you all, and welcome to all my new subscribers. I'm so excited for the future of the channel and everything. You guys rock. And yeah, let's get this show on the road. Okay, so most people do the typical template for these lists or tier lists, but I decided to make my own because those are boring, and also this is fun. And I spent way more time on this than I probably should have, but I'm pretty happy with it anyways. And I hope you like it because I put blood, sweat, and tears into this goddamn thing. I got all the pictures here in numbers, so I don't know which one's which is good because it'll just force me to randomly pick them one by one. And starting off with 4-ACO-DMT, my favorite research chemical. I'm going to put that A. I really like it. And it's the only research chemical that I do that is like, it feels as legit as like the main psychedelics like LSD and mushrooms. I really like it. Maybe not quite as much as mushrooms. It feels cleaner than mushrooms in a more synthetic way. And it comes on harder and drops off quicker. It's the first time I did that was really intense. Okay, picking the next random one. 73 benzos, which is something I would use sometimes, like coming off of harder drugs when I was younger, and I really liked it for that. And it was good for what it was. Sometimes I would black out if you took too many. I learned the hard way, and then you'd wake up a day later and half them were gone. I'd be like, oh fuck. So benzos I'm going to put at a B because I did enjoy. They were very mild. If you don't know what to expect, then you'd be like, what is this? It makes me tired. But if you're feeling like shit, they'll make you feel pretty good. Okay, next one randomly. DMT. I mean, I gotta put it S. It's not my favorite psychedelic, but it's so interesting. And I like it for that reason. It's not like something I ever crave, but it's something like I really gotta be in the mood for and like build my way up to. And it's more about the experience and how it makes you feel. And just for its interesting factor, I gotta put it S. Next. 4-HOMET. Which was kind of like 4-ACO-DMT. I've only done it once, so it's hard to gauge, but the one time I did it, it was as fun as 4-ACO-DMT. And so I am going to put it A. I can only rank these based on my experience, and I haven't had much experience with it, but it's been good. So I'm going to put that a very solid A. Next, we're going to go with number 9. Oh, heroin. Okay, I've only done this a few times, and if your brain chemistry is not wired to be addicted to certain drugs, and like you won't get it. Like some people will do meth and they'll be like, I don't get this. But if you're lacking something that it provides, then you'll be more prone to be addicted to it. And you sort of build your way up to certain things, and heroin seems to be like that. I was one person who never really got it. I only tried it 2 or 3 times when I was around it, and it made me kind of sick. I kind of felt pretty good for a bit though. It's not a total F, but I'm going to put D. And I know it's a horrible drug and can kill people and all that. It does kill people. There's a huge problem with it in Vancouver. But we're not ranking them on like that, basically the effects and my experience with it. Okay, so moving on. E. Okay, E is, I haven't had a press pill like this in a long time. A long time. I remember popular ones were dolphin prints or Mercedes logos. It was really fun. We're going to assume it's like clean, good E. But is really clean E just pure MDMA, which would be Molly in a sense, just in press form? But I don't think it was ever totally clean. It always seems like there's something else in it. And overall, my experience with it wasn't as good as like Molly, which came later. Or when I moved to the West Coast, it was a lot more popular. So I'm going to put it like a solid B. Yeah. And then we'll just go to Molly and we'll put it A because it's almost an S for me. I haven't done it in a long time. It takes its toll though. So I don't do it very often anymore at all. It's been a while. But it is a really good, it's the best Euphoria, I've always said. But it's just not totally interesting. It just makes you feel super good. And then there's a nasty come down from me. So I'm going to put it that, yeah. The first time I did E, I remember was the first time I really had like a bad come down. And I never knew you could feel that shitty. But as I got older, your come down sort of get less intense. The drug gets less intense, the high. It's sort of like everything becomes more normal. Kratom. I've only done it, I drank it for a while, for a couple weeks, and I decided it doesn't really do anything anymore. The very first time I did it, it was interesting, and I liked it, and I'm like, oh, cool. And then I tried it more, and it stopped being interesting to me. Totally. Like, it's like nothing now to me, and it's expensive, relatively speaking, and so I'm going to put it a D. I did like it that one time, though, so I won't put it a total F. Moving on. What is it? Edibles. Okay, I smoke so much weed that edibles don't do anything to me. People are always like, oh, you haven't had good ones. It's like, give me a break. I haven't had good edibles. So, I can't put it really. It feels like I'll do like a gram of pure THC. So, it doesn't really affect me. Like, I'll do like that much, and then a little while later, I'll be like, did I just smoke weed? I'm like, oh no, I ate that edible. Like, I'll totally forget I even did them. Maybe I'm going to try to do like a super heroic THC dose soon for like a video, just to like prove that point, or maybe not. Maybe I will get high. Either way, it should make for a good video. I've never done an edible where at any point it's made me feel as high as immediately after taking a bong hit. Speaking of, I actually have some edibles right here. I still eat them sometimes. It's 25 per candy, and there's like 5 in there, I guess. I don't know. I'll eat a couple. I'll eat a few. I'll eat 4. I'll eat 5. I'm going to eat the whole pack. So 4-Ho Met, I call it 4-Ho Met. Is it 4-HO Met, MET? I don't know. Whatever it is. 4-Ho Met, I call it. And I liked it as much as 4-ACO DMT. The one time I did try it. And so I could just go based off that experience. But it was a very good research chem. I'd have to try it more, though. But for now, for me, it's an A. A. Oof. Crystal meth. Okay. I used to have a big problem with this drug for a long time. And it's so addicting. If we're just going based on effect, for me, it would be an S. For me. Like if it was clean, if it was good. And it's very clean, but people stay up on it, and some people get very psychotic on it. I never had any mental problems like that with it. Well, I was lucky for. But I did stay up, and it keeps you up, and the longer you stay up on it, the more and more it becomes sort of this crazy, weird high. But I recommend never trying it ever for any reason. But if we're talking just based on effect, as I stated here, then I'm gonna have to put it up there for me. Moving on, GHB. It's pretty good. For the few times I tried it, it was like around the time I was trying ketamine. I have ketamine on here somewhere. Through the same people, I think we got some GHB a few times, and it was fun. It was good. I really enjoyed it. I liked music on it. I liked playing guitar on it and just chilling out, and it kind of felt like alcohol a bit, but a little different, more like a dissociative effect. I do remember enjoying it quite a bit though. I'm gonna put it A. 1P LSD. For me, this is like a D, like borderline F. I felt like Kmart acid. I don't like any research chemical lysergamides. I forget how to say that word. Basically acid analogs. I'm not even sure if I used analogs there correctly, but I'm gonna go with it. I just don't like. Yeah, they all feel like knockoff acid to me. Like I did 7 of these once, and it wasn't that trippy. It was just really confusing, and I don't recommend them personally. But like some people say they're exactly like acid, which to me I've never got that, but I believe them. Just personally, it's never been like that for me, and a lot of other people I speak with. But some people swear that they're just like acid for them. So they seem hit or miss for people. I did not like them, and I tried them, quite a few times. Moving on to tobacco. I don't like tobacco. I smoked cigarettes for years when I was younger, and I still didn't like it. In the back of my mind, like I got addicted to them, but like I barely liked them. I would use them I'd smoke them when I was like doing coke or something, or like drinking or like partying. And then I became a cook, and there's a lot of cigarette smokers in that industry. And so that's when I started smoking, and it sort of just stuck with me for a while. And I didn't like them, even in the back of my mind when I was smoking them. At the height of my addiction, I'm like, they're kind of nasty. And then one day I realized I'm not getting anything out of them. They don't like relax me really or anything. So I'm going to put it in an F. It took a while to quit, and it was hard, but it wasn't that hard. And eventually it got to the point where like they grossed me out. 5-MeO, I've only done it one time. I smoked a bit and it was okay. And then I smoked like a big dose and it was terrible. It felt like I smoked a poison, it felt like I picked up a poison flower and smoked it, and that wasn't like trippy. I ended up in my brain, and like I was paralyzed, and I was like in this big sea of brain matter, and it was terrible. I'm like, I fucked my life up, and then I slowly came to and realized I didn't. And that's that. It was an F for me. I want to try it again, though. I'm not saying it's an F, overall for people. I know it's obviously a very enlightening experience sometimes. It's funny because I have DMT way up here and that way down there, but I'd have to try it more. Obviously something went wrong. Mush. It's my favorite psychedelic. It's an easy S. Enough said. I mean, I love mush. It's so much fun. And it's not nearly as anxiety provoking as acid is for me. It's almost always fun. It is always fun. I've never really had a bad mush trip. I've had like parts that might have been scary or like intense, but never what I would consider a bad mush trip. Fentanyl, I've only tried it one time. It was like heroin, sort of. I snorted it, and it sort of made me sick. I was with someone who knew what they were doing, and like just like a tiny rail I took. Yeah, I'm gonna put an F. DXM. I used to do this quite a bit when I was younger, robo tripping, and it was okay. It was like a C for me. It was really euphoric at times. It was a dissociative. Sometimes I feel like your limbs were like sliding off and like across the room and shit. That was trippy. It was pretty euphoric though at times, and it was just kind of groggy, and it felt like a heavy like MDMA sort of. Not quite as euphoric, but it's kind of weird. I've never tried like pure DXM though. That might be a bit different, but yeah, it was okay. Not something I'd probably do again. Definitely not like Robitussin form, which can be dangerous. You gotta get the right one, so don't even try that or think about trying that. Mush. Okay, I got 2 mush up here. I thought I had an extra one for some reason. Okay. Coke. We're going to assume it's good Coke, because Coke like sucks most of the time here lately. Unless you get it from someone you know. Like, I used to do it a lot when I was in my early 20s. Not by a lot, I mean like a couple times, once or twice a month maybe on the weekends. So not like tons, but like not like a small amount. But it's very expensive, and it's good if you got a lot and you're partying with friends. And we're going to judge it based on that experience. It's not something you want to do alone, or it's always really bad lately too. It's just like weak, and I haven't done it in a couple years at least, but oh, my food's here. I'll be right back. I got McDonald's. Okay. One more. Oh, fuck. I said one more. That's all I fucking want. Bacon. I'm eating that. I'm totally eating that, obviously. What am we doing here? What's this? Cocaine. Cocaine. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, cocaine is like, I don't know, B, I guess. Or when it's good, assuming it's really good and you're out with friends and stuff, it's pretty fucking fun. Moving on. Moving on. Moving on. I can sing in 3 octaves. On. Weed. Weed is like a number 1 for me. Weed is king. Weed is the shit. It's subtle, but it's nice. And there's no downside. I can't see any downside to it. Maybe there is. But if it's not apparent, like with every other drug, the downside is obvious. With weed, the upside is obvious for me, and the downside, not obvious. So, I'm not even going to make it smaller. Did not do this. 2CB, I just did it the other night on stream. It's very fun. It's very fun. It's almost as good as like mush for me, which is my favorite psychedelic, so it's up there. But it's not quite. Can I put some on the border? It's like A.5. It's an A.5, we'll say. Yeah. Can I put any else on the border? And like, people will probably upset that meth and like DMT are beside each other, but for what they are, for a clean chemical high, meth is good. For DMT, it's obviously way different. It's good. Okay, moving on to Oxy. Oxy, I've only done it like 4 or 5 times maybe. When I was younger, we used to get them every once in a while, and they were pretty good. You know, they felt pretty good. It wasn't like heroin for me. It was like, I actually got like pretty high from them, and they didn't really make me sick. They made me itchy, made me very itchy, and it gave me crazy sleep paralysis. And they didn't last that long. They're kind of expensive. Overall, it wasn't a great experience, but like when the high was good, it was pretty good. That's a solid C. Moving on. Salvia, I did a couple times when I was younger, and when I was in like high school, or yeah, like early high school, I guess I would have been. And it was a really interesting, fun experience. Not totally fun, but it was kind of fun. You know, we hung out, we all did it together. I mean, some friends, and it was a weird experience. And it was very weird, yeah. And I want to try it again, potentially. They outlawed it. It used to be legal in Canada. Outlawed in 2015, I think, around there. We'll go like C, yeah. FLAD, which is another. It's like pretty much the same as 1P LSD for me. I only did that one time on stream, or not on stream. It was just an experience report, and I did that around Halloween. The video came out on Halloween, I think, and I got kind of sick, and it didn't really go anywhere. The video was pretty funny, but I didn't like it. It felt like Kmart acid again. And yeah, the visual, it was hot and cold, and you know, getting all the bad side effects you get from like a really strong bad acid trip, but like none of the intent, like trippiness or anything. It was trippy, like I saw shit obviously, but like I didn't feel high, like mentally. I felt like anxious. That's about it. Crack, I only did it like a few times. I've never seeked it out or want like crave crack, but like it's been like around at like parties or something, and I tried it a few times, and I felt like strong coke that it hit harder and didn't last as long, basically. And it was all right, you know. I wouldn't do it by itself, really. I think we had some drinks and maybe a bit of cocaine, but like, yeah, it wasn't that good for me. It wasn't that good. The come down was strong and fast, and you had to keep doing it. It's super expensive, so like, put it in D. LSD, it's like a B.5. I was thinking about this the whole time. Where am I going to put this? Is it A? Not quite. Not quite. Yes, I would rather have a good coke high all night than LSD. Because acid is like, it's pretty cheap. And I still don't do it very often, you know? It's like, it's anxiety. It's a lot of anxiety, I know, I'm going to get. Which it wasn't like that for me when I was younger. It seems to change as I get older. I still have good trips every now and again. It's good like socially, but like, I don't get much trippy results off it unless I do a lot. So, and I don't enjoy it that much as I do enjoy it. Obviously, I'm putting it B.5, but I like mushrooms like a lot more. Alcohol is like a B, you know. If it wasn't so destructive, it'd be great. Or it'd be pretty good, you know. People are so used to it. Probably like the novelty's worn off for a lot of people. But like if it was like a new drug, it would be like people would consider it something like GHB or like, I don't know, sort of its own thing. It's not quite like GHB, but. And then ketamine, I've done that around the same time I was doing GHB, which I did like 3 or 4 times maybe. And then ketamine, same thing. And I really liked it. I liked it a lot. And it's been a long time. And I know people talk about it quite a bit. It's quite popular, it seems like, lately. And anyways, I'm going to put it A. I think A is a pretty good spot. I'd like to try it again soon. And anyways, that is it. That is my tier list. Don't read too much into it, you know. I just slapped this together, obviously, very quickly. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. There's more to come, and I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. All right. Peace. See you soon. Cheers.